He never raised his voice, never argued, never said who he was. The cop treated him like a suspect until the truth surfaced. This is the moment one assumption destroyed a career. Before we continue, let me take this opportunity to thank you so much for supporting our channel. Just choosing to watch our video means a lot to us. Before we go any further, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if this is your first time here. Judge Marcus Ellison didn't look like power. That was intentional. No tailored suit, no polished shoes, no courthouse confidence radiating from his posture. Just a black man in a faded gray hoodie, jogging pants and running shoes, walking his dog as the sun dipped behind the houses of Brookfield Lane. Marcus had learned long ago that authority made people nervous. So when he didn't need it, he set it down. Tonight was one of those nights. The courthouse had been heavy that day. 3 custody hearings, 2 emergency protective orders, and 1 case that left him staring at his chamber's wall long after everyone else had gone home. So he came here. Quiet streets, manicured lawns, predictable silence. His dog, Riley, trotted beside him, tail wagging, nose low to the pavement. Marcus breathed. Then, tires screeched. Red and blue lights exploded against the houses like a warning flare. Riley stopped instantly, trained and calm. Marcus turned. The patrol car had stopped sideways, blocking the street. A white male officer stepped out fast, too fast, hand already resting on his weapon. "Hey!" The shout cracked through the neighborhood. Marcus didn't flinch. "You! Stop right there!" Marcus slowly stopped walking. Riley sat. Marcus raised one open hand, leash still in the other. "Yes, officer?" The officer approached like he expected resistance. "Where do you think you're going?" Marcus glanced down the street. "My house," he said calmly. "Second one on the left." The officer's eyes moved over him. Lingering. Judging. "Yeah?" the cop said. "Because you don't look like you live around here." That sentence, Marcus felt it settle into his chest like an old bruise. The officer circled him slowly, boots crunching against gravel. "What's your name?" Marcus didn't answer immediately. "What's the reason for the stop?" The officer smirked. "You don't get to ask questions." Marcus met his gaze. "Actually, I do." The officer stiffened. Someone called in a suspicious male walking back and forth. Marcus looked down the empty street. "Walking my dog?" "That's right." "On a public sidewalk?" "That's right." "And that's suspicious?" The officer stepped closer. "Depends who's doing the walking." The implication hung in the air. Marcus felt Riley press gently against his leg. He placed a calming hand on the dog's head. "I've lived on this street for 6 years," Marcus said. "I walk my dog every night." "Then you won't mind showing ID." "I do mind," Marcus replied evenly, "because I haven't committed a crime." The officer's jaw tightened. "Turn around." Marcus didn't move. "Excuse me?" "Turn. Around. Hands behind your back." That was the moment. The exact second when a routine stop crossed into something else. Marcus felt the old familiar tension, the kind that had nothing to do with law and everything to do with power. "Am I being detained?" Marcus asked calmly. The officer's face hardened. "Don't get cute." Marcus had presided over hundreds of contempt hearings. He knew when ego overtook reason. He knew when authority felt challenged, and he knew what officers did when that happened. "Officer," Marcus said slowly, "you have not articulated reasonable suspicion." The cop laughed. "Oh, we got ourselves a lawyer now?" "No," Marcus replied. "You have a citizen who knows his rights." The officer reached for his cuffs. Across the street, a porch light flicked on. A woman stepped outside, phone already in hand. Marcus noticed. The officer didn't. "Last chance," the cop said. "Turn around." Marcus took a slow breath. "Call your supervisor." The officer froze. "What did you say?" "Call your supervisor." The cop scoffed. "Who do you think you are?" Marcus looked him dead in the eye. "Someone you don't want to be wrong about." The officer turned away angrily and keyed his radio. "Dispatch, I need a supervisor at Brookfield Lane. Possible non-compliant subject." Marcus remained still. Riley sat like a statue. More neighbors appeared. Windows opened. Phones lifted. 5 minutes later, another patrol car arrived. Then another. Finally, a black SUV pulled up. Sergeant Linda Reyes stepped out. She was seasoned, calm, observant. She took in the scene in seconds. "Officer," she said, "what's going on?" The cop launched in fast. "This guy's refusing ID. Acting suspicious." Reyes turned to Marcus. "Sir?" Marcus nodded politely. "Good evening, Sergeant." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "Good evening. Care to explain?" Marcus reached into his pocket slowly. The officer stiffened. Reyes held up a hand. "It's okay." Marcus handed over his wallet. Reyes opened it and froze. Her breath caught. She looked down again, then up, then back down. Her voice dropped. "Judge Ellison?" Marcus nodded once. "Family Court, District 7. Silence fell like a curtain. The officer frowned. "Wait, what?" Reyes turned slowly. "This is Judge Marcus Ellison." The cop laughed nervously. "So what? Judges gotta show ID too." Reyes's voice turned cold. "You detained a sitting judge without cause." The officer's face drained of color. "I didn't know," the officer stammered. Marcus spoke calmly. "Not knowing isn't a defense." Reyes straightened. "Badge. Now." The officer stared at her. "Sergeant. Now." The badge came off. Neighbors gasped. Reyes continued. "You're relieved of duty pending investigation." Marcus finally stepped forward. "You stopped me because you assumed I didn't belong." He gestured to the houses. "I decide custody cases for families who look like me every single day." The officer said nothing. He couldn't. The footage went public 3 weeks later. The department issued statements. Civil rights attorneys filed suit. The officer was terminated. Marcus returned to his routine. Same street. Same dog. Same calm. But patrol cars slowed now. Not to question, to remember. He wasn't stopped for breaking the law. He was stopped for existing. And seconds later, they learned exactly who he was. Officer Ethan Cole didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the same image, a badge resting in Sergeant Reyes' hand. Not thrown, not ripped away, just taken, calmly, like it had never truly belonged to him. His phone buzzed at 6:12 a.m. A department email, subject, administrative leave, effective immediately. His chest tightened. By 6:30 a.m., the group chat with other officers was silent. No jokes. No, "You good?" No defense. Everyone had seen the bodycam clip already. They all knew what was coming. The video hit social media at 9:03 a.m. first on Twitter. Then TikTok. Then every local news station. The caption was simple. "Cop detains black man for not belonging. Turns out he's a family court judge." By noon, it had crossed 1 million views. By evening, 5 million. Comment sections exploded. Former officers, civil rights attorneys, judges, parents who recognized Judge Ellison from custody hearings. One comment went viral on its own. "This is the same judge who gave me custody of my son. Calmest man I've ever met." That cop had no idea who he was talking to. Another. "Notice how polite the judge was the entire time. That officer escalated everything." The department issued a statement before sunset. Carefully worded. Legally sterile. "We take this matter seriously and have opened an internal investigation." No apology. Judge Ellison watched none of it. Marcus Ellison arrived at court the next morning like nothing had happened. Same routine. Same calm. His clerk, Janice Holloway, watched him closely. "You okay?" she asked quietly. Marcus nodded. "I'm fine." She hesitated. "They're calling nonstop. Media, advocacy groups, city council." Marcus removed his coat. "They can wait." Janice leaned in. "Do you want to make a statement?" Marcus paused. "No," he said. "Not yet." He walked into courtroom 4 and took the bench. The first case that morning was a custody dispute. Father versus mother. Police reports involved. Marcus listened, then asked a single question that silenced the room. "Officer," he said evenly, "why did you escalate instead of explain?" The officer on the stand shifted uncomfortably. "I followed protocol, Your Honor." Marcus nodded slowly. "And whose protocol?" The courtroom was silent. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Ethan Cole sat in his apartment, blinds drawn. News anchors dissected his words frame by frame. "Doesn't look like you belong here." Played again, and again, and again. His lawyer advised him to stay silent. His union representative stopped returning calls. The department scheduled the internal hearing. Cole started rehearsing excuses. "I was tired. I feared for my safety. I didn't know." None of them sounded convincing, because none of them explained the tone. The IA room was cold, neutral. 3 investigators sat across from Cole. A screen behind them paused on a single frame, Cole's hand resting on his weapon. The lead investigator spoke. "Why did you place your hand on your firearm?" Cole swallowed. He was non-compliant. The investigator nodded. "By asking questions?" Cole hesitated. "He challenged my authority." That was the sentence. The room went quiet. The investigator clicked his pen. So this was about authority. Cole realized too late what he'd said. Judge Ellison didn't file the lawsuit. Others did it for him. A coalition of civil rights groups petitioned the court. The city's legal department panicked. Depositions were scheduled. Emails subpoenaed. Dispatch logs pulled. It turned out the suspicious person call never existed. No caller, no record, no report. The stop had been entirely discretionary, entirely unnecessary, entirely indefensible. Sergeant Reyes testified under oath. She didn't embellish. She didn't soften. She simply told the truth. He had no reasonable suspicion. Did the subject resist? No. Did he threaten the officer? No. Did the officer escalate? Yes. The city's attorney closed his notebook slowly. He already knew the outcome. 2 weeks later, the chief called a press conference. Cameras everywhere. He cleared his throat. "After reviewing all evidence, Officer Ethan Cole has been terminated." Gasps. The chief continued. "This incident reflects conduct inconsistent with our values." Marcus watched from chambers. Not satisfied. Not angry. Just resolved. Cole cleaned out his locker alone. Badge gone. Gun turned in. Nameplate removed. No farewell. No handshake. A rookie watched silently. Cole felt something worse than anger. He felt invisible. 3 days later, Judge Ellison finally spoke. Just once. A written statement. Short. Precise. "This was never about my title. It was about a citizen being treated as suspicious for existing. Accountability is not punishment. It is correction." The statement went viral. Again, 1 month later, same street, same time. Marcus walked Riley past the same corner. A patrol car passed slowly. The officer inside nodded. Respectfully, Marcus nodded back. No words, no tension, just understanding. He never raised his voice, never reached for power, never had to say who he was, because the truth spoke loud enough on its own.